MassTLC has been for a while. Kai Gray, who used to be here, was a big driver of the relationship and very active in the organization, but there's a lot of opportunity for everyone within Carbonite to get involved. I'm going to go through a little bit about what MassTLC does and what your member benefits are and how you can get engaged. Two thoughts I want you to have. First, the membership is a corporate membership, so everyone within Carbonite is covered under this membership. And for most of what we do, attendance is free, it's easy access. So think of this as both a chance for Carbonite to get some visibility and get some messaging out there, but also for you as individuals to do some professional development. And I'll talk as we go through about how you can do that, take advantage. So unfortunately, I don't have
Do you want me to?
Do you want to drive it?
Sure.
So obviously, as the name implies, we're an organization that's geared towards the tech community in Massachusetts, and New England as a whole, but for obvious reasons, mostly Massachusetts. The slide is a little bit misleading because it's not just tech executives who get benefits out of the membership and participating in MassTLC. It's everyone within the organization. And you'll see as we go through, there are different places where you can plug in. We have over 500 member companies. Most of our members are tech organizations, but we do have some members who come from vertical industries that are heavy users of IT. So healthcare, life sciences, energy, and financial services tend to be the big four that we get members from. And then the other category are what we call affiliate members. Those are the service organizations that support the tech sector. So everything from venture capitalists down to PR agencies that specialize in tech clients. But really, we're focused on the tech side of things and supporting the tech industry in Massachusetts. A lot of what we do, an overarching theme, is really supporting the Made in Massachusetts brand. The list of members on the bottom are global sponsors, so they are members who tend to underwrite a lot of what we do and allow us to offer a lot of free events. You can see the kind of the usual suspects, but there are a couple of smaller ones like Dine and Baribo that went that route, partly for branding, largely because it's a very competitive hiring environment, so it helps get their name out there as well. So I'm going to go through basically the different elements that you get out of membership, but it's the three main areas are connection, access, and visibility. So connection is obviously the networking that happens at all of our events. We build in networking time. It's pretty loose and casual. We have some events where we have some very structured networking for particular reasons, and I can talk about that. But again, this is an area where it's great for Carbonite to have people out in events, to get the name out there, get some visibility. It's also great for you as individuals, just for professional development purposes. The access, again, is access to leading edge knowledge. And you'll see in a lot of our events, and anyone who's been to them, that we really try and talk about current topics, and we are able to do that because our members participate and tell us what's important to them. And we're very much a member-driven organization. We look to our members to tell us what's on their mind, what kinds of topics they want to see covered, who would be good speakers. There are a lot of ways for you to have input into that. And then visibility, again, it's visibility for the individual and for the company. And there are a number of different ways. Partly it's just attending events, but also there are sponsorship opportunities. So I think Carbonite probably is going to be a sponsor of our own conference, which is in November. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But again, great opportunity to get the name out there and be seen by a lot of people. This is just a very quick video that gives you a sense of who we are, but also talks a little bit about the conference, so it'll give you a sense of what's coming.
MassTLC is a glue that brings together both existing companies, large companies, small companies, ones that are very successful, ones that have grown and evolved over the years.
MTLC, I think, is the preeminent organization to allow that collaborative action of innovation to occur in Massachusetts.
As we've grown, MassTLC's played different roles, but really what it is the connector for the Massachusetts technology industry.
Logged me in, joined MassTLC for a very specific purpose, and that was to meet really smart, talented people.
MassTLC plays a very important role in helping to create a community.
They've just helped me navigate the Boston community over the last year, and and being a part of their events and their organization has made our company better.
Interested, engaged, responsible. It's a positive support system that is capable of addressing and changing issues globally.
By pulling together a cluster of companies and programming, we're able to help put a voice behind that community. So for us, it's an opportunity for our companies to get to reach new markets, to sell their products and goods in a very high growth area.
We were able to link up with other networks here and start to build relationships and really begin laying the groundwork to do a better job telling the story of all the great things we have going on back home in Massachusetts.
What I love about this unconference, it's fresh, it's live, it's vibrant, it's valuable, it's inciting. It makes me want to do things.
Even today, I've met 2 or 3 entrepreneurs that I would not have met without this conference. And my reaction is, yes, I'd like to be part of their company. I'd like to invest in their company. I'd like to see if we can't partner with them.
The cross-section of startups, entrepreneurs, students, VCs, angel investors. There's no conference quite like this in Boston.
It's amazing, like so many resources and people here just ready to answer our questions.
So as mentioned in the video, really the heart of what we do is our clusters, our communities of interest. With 500 members that span the whole tech spectrum, they're going to be natural communities of interest formed. Sometimes it's based on technology, so the cloud, big data, mobile, and robotics to some extent really are our technology-focused ones. Sometimes it's vertical focus, so healthcare, energy, and robotics. And then these 3 over here, the workforce development, sales and marketing, software development, are job function focused. So it can be even within an organization when we talk about Carbonite, not everybody's interested in sales and marketing, but your sales and marketing folks might want to plug into that cluster. These are not static, they change as there's enough demand and enough energy to drive them. So you can see this list even changed from that video, which was just made less than a year ago. Our most recent cluster addition is a workforce development, and Kai actually was the co-chair of that cluster. It's very active because every single member we have is having trouble hiring technical talents, and so there's a lot going on in this cluster. Right now, we're just launching a skills gap analysis, and some research is going to go on over the course of the spring. We'll work on the analysis over the summer, and then there's a summit in September, which is a half-day event focused on workforce development issues. The research will be released there. I would really encourage you, as individuals, as a company, to find people to plug in to these clusters. Skip ahead another one. The way these clusters work is everyone has an advisory board comprised of members, and we're looking for people with content expertise who would like to help really drive the initiatives that go on within each cluster. Generally, it's helping suggest topics for events, suggest speakers, if there's any research going on, helping drive the research process. It's not tons of heavy lifting. We ask anyone who's plugged into the advisory board work on one thing over the course of the year. And the meetings are maybe quarterly. If you can't make a meeting, we're not going to slap your wrist. But it's a really good place to get in, to get Carbonite's voice heard, and for you as individuals to make some connections and get some leadership experience. Every cluster has 2 to 4 co-chairs, and those members really do a little bit more of the heavy lifting than the regular advisory board members. They really help drive the cluster and help shape it. But really, this is where you're going to have a chance to be heard in terms of suggesting speakers. It could be from Carbonite, it could be partners, customers. We have 30 to 40 events over the course of a year, and we're always looking for speakers. And it's a really good way to get out there in front of people. If you want to go to the next one. So the types of events that the clusters do, they're member-only roundtables, and as the name suggests, they're only for members. Those are free to everyone within Carbonite. You're free to attend those. Same with the seminars. The seminars are slightly bigger events. They tend to get 75 to 125 people, and they're open to non-members. But again, they're free to everyone within our member companies. And we generally tend to have these events in Boston, Cambridge, and 128 areas, so pretty easy to get to. We've actually had events in this building, so I guess you have a little space issue. So you probably won't be hosting them here, but they are fairly easy to get to. As I said, they're free, so there's not that barrier. The summits, not every cluster does a summit. We have 7 planned for this year, and I can show you a slide in a minute what they are, but those are half-day events with multiple tracks covering different topic areas, whereas the seminars and roundtables tend to focus on one specific topic and maybe have a panel discussion. The summits have multiple topics that are covered. They usually tend to run 8:30 to 12:30, except the software development one is always in the afternoon because you can't get people up at 8:30 to attend that one. Software developments tend to be later in the day. But again, the summits, they have a discounted price for members because they're more expensive events for us to come out. We do have to charge something, but it's half price for members. And again, we need a lot of speakers for summits. So again, it's a good place if you have somebody, even if you're not plugged into the advisory boards, if you have people you think would be good thought leaders and good in front of an audience, let us know and we'll keep that in mind. I'll put you in touch with the cluster manager. Every cluster has a MassTLC cluster manager who does all the organization, and that's a good person to get to know. So these are the summits we have planned. We already had the Sales and Marketing Summit. I don't know if anyone from Carbonite made it. Our next one is the Big Data Summit on June 27th. And I think there's been some interest in big data from Carbonite, but I don't think there's been a lot of involvement. This is an event that is well worth going to. It's going to be slightly different from our other summits, a little bit longer. We last year released a report on the big data environment in Massachusetts, and we did an update to that just this year. You can get it for free off our website and download it. That's going to be an ongoing process. We're going to continue to do research in the big data space, through the Delphi process, if you're familiar with it. Our focus for the summit is going to be on connected cities, medical devices, pharma, and life sciences, healthcare, informatics, and insurance, and then retail and e-commerce. So we're going to be doing some very specific research in those areas around big data. So that's a good one if you have any interest. That's a good event to attend. The mobile summit, and this should be of some interest to you, is July 9th, and our keynote speaker is Peter Vescovaca, who is from Rovio, the developer of Angry Birds. He's coming in for that. This is an event that we expect to have probably 400 people attend. Normally our summits draw around 200 to 250. But we're expecting, though it's a summer with him as a keynote, it will draw a lot of people. As I said, the Workforce Summit is in September, Cloud will be in October, software development probably in November this year, and then we're going to do a robotics one in December. Right now we have 2 events on our calendar. This is unusual. Usually this slide is filled. It just came off our annual meeting last week, which had about 500 attendees. So we haven't filled in the calendar yet, but over the next week or so you'll see this fill in. We tend to spread the events out over the course of the year within a cluster, so you're not going to see all the healthcare ones in January. They're going to be spread out over the course of the year. So keep an eye on this. It changes, and I would also say, if you look at a cluster event and it's not of interest, don't write off the cluster, because they're fairly broad, the topics change from event to event. And so, one event might not be of interest to you, but the next one is. So keep an eye on the calendar. You can sign up for an RSS feed that'll give you automatic updates, but it does change frequently. next. So we have several major events over the course of the year. Our awards program we're about to kick off, and I think last year you might have had a nomination. We're going to open up nominations for our awards. The way they work is they're aligned with our cluster, so we're looking for innovative use of technology in robotics, healthcare, cloud, what have you. We also have some higher level ones. So we have Public Company of the Year, Private Company, CEO, Emerging Executive. And then we have some consumer-oriented ones. Probably in the next several weeks you'll see an email about nominations opening. You can nominate yourselves, you can nominate partners, customers, anybody. And the person who's nominated receives an email saying, so-and-so Carbonite nominated you for this award. So that opens in April, and that will close out in May. In June, we do the judging, where we actually have nominees come in and do a presentation to a panel of judges. That's a good place to be involved as well, because there's a lot of networking built in amongst the judges. You see a lot of interesting technologies as well. Then in July, we have a reception, an evening cocktail reception. It's really geared towards the CXO level. It's a good chance for your CXOs to get out and mingle with their peers and be seen. But that's where we announce the finalists, and then our gala is in September. It'll be September 19th this year. Again, these are events where it's really good for you senior executives. They often don't have time to get out to the other events. This is a good chance for them to mingle with their peers and get a Carbonite name out there. We just had our annual meeting last week. We had the governor and Robert Kraft as keynote speakers talking specifically about building workforce in Massachusetts. How do you keep companies here? How do you keep graduates here? What do we need to do to get more technical talent in the area? So it was a great event. And then the conference, we have the right date here. So it's November 1st this year. It's at the Heinz. That's an all-day event. And as I said, I think that you're probably going to end up sponsoring. The Carbonite will be a sponsor, which is a great place for you. We have sort of two parts to the unconference. The unconference itself is an unconference because we don't provide any content. Attendees show up if they have a topic they want to discuss. We spend an hour in the morning with a moderator who helps decide if it's a good topic or not, and assign spaces to the attendees. And it works. We had probably 180 sessions last year. It sounds like complete chaos, but it works really well. It's a lot of fun. So again, that's something to think about, coming prepared to lead a session. But the other part of it is we have a whole mentoring track, and it's geared toward the startup community. So startups can apply to be a sponsor entrepreneur. If they're accepted, they get 3 20-minute networking slots with mentors. So luminaries from the industry who want to give back and give a little bit of their time. And all they have to do is commit an hour. They spend these 3 20-minute sessions. And it's just great. There's a lot going on. And sometimes there's some real connections. You saw from Michael Simon in the video. There's usually, one person who comes through for each, mentor that really kind of sticks, and they continue the relationship beyond the conference. And we're also trying to make this more of a program. So over the course of the year, we're doing it this year. We're having unconference meetups. So the startup community, but also the sponsors and the VCs can continue to get together over the course of the year. So I'm not going to talk too much about research. We don't do tons and tons, but we do some very specific, usually around the cluster. So I mentioned we're doing a workforce research project. We're going to do mobile this year. Big data is ongoing, and we just released a robotics report. So the research we do is very, very focused on our cluster areas and on our membership, and really trying to get a snapshot of what the trends are and what's happening in Massachusetts. And I just want to point out, whenever we do research, it's available for free on our website. So if you have any interest in these reports that we've done, you can go on our website and download them for free. We talked a little bit about workforce. We have a ton going on there. So Heather Carey, who's our senior VP, is committing herself full-time this year to working on workforce issues. She runs our Ed Foundation. We have an internship network, so if you have internships that you want to post them on there. They don't have to be summer. They can be year-round, part-time, full-time, project-based. So I would encourage you to do that. You can also post jobs on our website as a member. So I think for you, you can post 10 at a time. I don't know if you're taking advantage of that at all. But, you can also post, in addition to jobs, you can post content. So if you have white papers or any kind of thought leadership pieces, press releases, they can go on our website. You can post events. We also do events there. We'll put them on our community calendar. So I'd encourage you to take advantage of that. There's some easy, free ways to, again, to get some eyes on what you're doing. So we actually covered a lot of this. You know, as I said, the roundtables and the seminars, which are the lion's share of what we do. Most of our events fall in those categories, are free to all of you. You just have to go on the website and sign up and register for them. For the other events, for our larger events and our summits, there's some cost associated with it, but it's half price for members generally. That's about sponsorship. I just want to emphasize on the speaking opportunities. This is a really great place to take advantage of your membership. So, you know, by all means, get in touch with me and let me know if you have people that you think would be good in front of your audience, or you know, really insightful on particular areas that we deal with. And again, plug into the advisory board, because that's where you'll get your voice heard. Covered that. So. And I'm going to actually pass around some lists. You can get in touch with me after the fact, but if you have particular clusters that you're interested in and you want to get notifications from them about what's coming out, meetings, advisory board meetings, or events, or if you want to get our weekly newsletter, which goes out to about 20,000 people a week, it'll tell you about what events are coming up. You can sign up and we'll make sure we get you on these lists. Oh, they're there. So, but you can also get in touch with me after the fact. But again, come to events that interest you. As I said, there's the content piece, which, you know, I came from the other side, from tech industry, and I'm always impressed by the quality of events, because we don't have people come out and speak for an hour with a boring, you know, slide deck. They come, they make an introduction, and then it's a very interactive conversation. So you can help drive that conversation and cover areas that you're interested in. So come to events, get involved in the clusters that are of interest, go on our website, make sure you're posting information or keeping up with what's going on. And the profile we can skip for now. We can skip this part of it, so. Yeah, so that's it. Are there any questions I can answer about how to get involved or what we do? Nothing?
I have a question about the form.
Sure.
So the distribution list, what are we supposed to be
So you can write, either you want to get the weekly newsletter, which is really more about our events, or if you want to get cluster-specific ones, so you know when advisory board meetings are coming up, or the specific events or research that are going on or happening, you can sign up for those. You can also, if you want to spend time, go on the website, you can get in touch with me after the fact. We'll get you on the list as well. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Ruth, for coming. And as Ruth said, go on, check out the website, check out the events list. And if you have any questions, feel free to direct it to me. I can put you in touch with Ruth, or you can grab one of Ruth's business cards if you want to talk to her directly. All right. Thanks, Ruth.